Hello, everyone. This is The Vibe Broken Arrow. I am Aaron McCullough, Communications Director for the City of Broken Arrow, and this is Jerry Schuber, Director of Solid Waste and Recycling for the city. Jerry, we're talking trash today. I know that's like a dad joke that you've probably never heard before.
Never.
But we're talking trash. How are you?
I'm well. And when we're talking trash, I'm doing great.
that's not rubbish, people. So I wanted to bring you on today because there's a lot of things happening in solid waste and recycling. It's a new year, new fiscal year. And one of those things was the approval from the Broken Arrow Municipal Authority. That is the trustees who oversee our business, like operations, stormwater, water utilities, solid waste and recycling, that sort of thing.
Yes, sir.
They approved the purchase of 12 side loader vehicles.
Yes, sir, they did.
And I know you are incredibly excited about this. This is like Christmas in September.
That's exactly what it's like. It's Christmas for everybody, not just me. For all of our drivers, for all the customers, it just makes service that much easier for us to get out there and get done. So
what makes it easier?
Exciting.
A side loader versus the rear loader.
You know, you do the logistics on this with a rear loader. I can do 800 stops. A really good team can do about 800 stops with 3 people on a truck. So that's 1 driver and 2 helpers on the back. They're in traffic. They're running around, exposed in the weather and all the stuff that we deal with, right? Mm-hmm. If we have side loaders, these automatic side loaders actually can pick up about 1,500 stops.
It's almost double.
1 person. Yeah, it's almost double. And no exposure. I mean, we're not sitting out in traffic, and we're not in the heat and in the cold during the rougher times of the weather that we deal with here. They're out. They're in the truck. The arm grabs it, dumps it, and sets it back down, and away we go. So we can become far more efficient and far safer. So I'm very excited for this. The team that's out there, they're happy to hear that something's coming.
So those are 2 really important points that you made: the efficiency, which is a huge benefit to our customers, and then of course the safety, which is a huge benefit to our employees.
Yes, sir.
You've been in this industry a long time. I'm sure you've seen some things that were not very sightly, I suppose, when it comes to the safety. What are some of the things that, without getting into details, but I mean, what are some of those things that you've seen over the years in which employees' safety has been compromised?
I started in this business in 1993, and we didn't always have automated side loaders. We had a lot of rear loaders. We had a lot of heavy equipment that didn't have all of the shrouding and everything on it. So I've seen some horrific things over the course of those years, which I won't get into graphic on, but just in the time I've been here, I've seen people whip around a truck and catch the front end of it. I've seen helpers who are pushing a container back to the curb, and a car decides it's going to go around the truck and takes that container right out of their hands. And I mean, we've been blessed that nobody's been hit, but we've had equipment hit, and it's just dangerous. People, I hate to say this, but the cell phone is like one of the worst things in the world, because they get to doing this and they stop doing this. And, it's just accidents that happen. And so getting them out of traffic, getting them away from that, huge, absolutely huge.
And that's got to be a pretty scary proposition for the employees, too. That's probably one of those moments, those aha moments, I guess, if you will. If they get in a situation like that, they take a step back and say, this isn't worth it, which then in turn means you've got turnover.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that this is probably, with this acquisition of these trucks, is going to help with some of that turnover as well, too, because we've enhanced the safety measures for our employees.
I believe it will. That's a great point. One of the things that we did, and a lot of people have asked me, well, what are you going to do with those guys who are back on the back of the truck now? I mean, that seems unfair to them, that you get new equipment, which is great. It's nice to see it. It's safe. It's clean. That's great. But what about those poor guys on the back of the truck? Over the last year, we've been sending groups of them to Tulsa Tech to get their commercial driver's licenses, so that as the trucks become online, the ones that still have to be in a truck can be in the front driving the piece of equipment, as opposed to being on the back of it. So there's still going to be some limited work that we have to do with a rear loader. We still have green waste that we've got to pick up. And we still have our country routes, which are the routes that are way out in the distance, and they're in small cul-de-sacs and things like that, where we have to use a smaller truck. We're going to have people off the truck for that. But for the big stuff, the side load stuff, these folks are going to be able to drive. They're going to have career advancement, and they're going to get to feel like they're part of the bigger team. So it's exciting for them as well.
So with these side loaders, are there certain things that customers need to think about whenever they're putting their carts out, and how they may be different from rear loaders? Tell me a little bit about that.
That's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up. One of the things that we continually try to educate on is putting the container at the curb with the wheels against the curb, not up on the grass, not facing the wrong direction. The reason for that is when we grab that container, it's designed to unload with the lid opening towards the truck,
Okay.
and allowing that material to free fall out of the container. In any of the recycling containers, we ask that you don't bag anything, because those are tanglers. We don't want that in the container. Any of your garbage, we ask that you do bag it, that you try to keep it as clean as possible, so that as we dump it, the wind doesn't catch it and make a mess. We ask that you put them 3 feet apart, so that we have enough room with the gripper to get in there and pick them up. And then the big thing for us, and it's huge, is to make sure that they're not near a car. They're 3 feet away from any obstacle, cars, mailboxes. Basketball hoops are the worst for us, because when you grab a container and you pick it up, you'll take that thing out going up and coming down if you're not careful, because of the range of motion of the arm. So we just ask that the customers, do your portion of the social contract, right? Get it to the curb, make sure it's on time, get it there before 6 o'clock in the morning, because that's our hours, before 6 a.m., and 3 feet apart, so that we can service your container the best we can.
And for those homes that don't have a curb, where should they put them?
Still in the street.
Still in the street,
Still
okay.
in the street, yeah. The further they are into the street, not out in the street, but obviously
Like at the end of the driveway
on the
type thing?
concrete, we get a better grip on it. And you got to remember that the way that the truck is designed, it's designed to be even with the container. So if you reach out and it's lower or higher, it can knock it over and make a mess. So we really have these things dialed in.
And it points back to that efficiency and really fine-tuning those processes,
Yes,
it sounds
sir.
like.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed about you. You always issue a monthly report just to talk about your operations. It's usually about a month behind, and I pulled the one for August. And just want to talk a little bit about, you have these KPIs, these key performance indicators. Why is it important for you to have 5 p.m. as kind of that benchmark when it comes to collections?
Well, part of the thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to get very good at what we do and efficient at it, so that we can save the ratepayer their money, right? Because even though we're spending money to get better at this, we're trying to make sure that we're doing it as efficient as possible. 5 o'clock, we start into overtime. So one of the things that we're always trying to do, we start earlier, 6 o'clock in the morning, instead of 7 as we were before, because we miss an hour worth of traffic, an hour worth of kids trying to go to school and run through the traffic in front of our trucks.
I hadn't thought about your employees having to watch out for school children.
And one of the things that's most people don't think about is we're on the right side of the vehicle, driving on the right-hand side.
That's right.
A lot of people will run up to the left-hand side of the vehicle to come and talk to us, and they don't realize they're in a blind spot. And so we ask, if you're going to come around on the right side of the vehicle to wave us down. We appreciate that. But one of the things we're always watching for is kids or people darting in and out. So we get out there before 6, to get. We start our day at 5:30 in the morning. We get to the routes at 6. We get everything picked up that first hour. We get a ton of extra pickups because we're not dealing with traffic, not dealing with schools, all of that. And then we try to get done before 4:30 or 5, because now we're not on overtime, and that just saves our ratepayers money.
You have other services besides curb to curb, and one of the ones that I've used before, and I just want to kind of get you to talk about it just a little bit, and that's bulky waste. For those items that are too big to fit into the black cart, that are too big to be put out on the side. Talk a little bit about bulky waste and some of the changes that we're going to see this year with it.
The bulky waste system really was not cost effective for the city. It's pricey to do, and so one of the things we did is we reanalyzed the cost per yard for the material, and what it was costing us versus what we were charging. And so we had to adjust the rates on that. We went to a $20 a yard cost instead of 10, but a 2-yard minimum just to get the truck and the staff and everything out there. That's basically $13 shy of what we actually are paying to get at that first yard. So we didn't want to go over the top, but we needed to get some of those costs recovered. So one of the things that we did was we started working around the routes to try to build them more efficiently. You'll notice if you call and ask for route service, bulky service, you'll get it Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday. We don't run Mondays, and we're a 410 service, so we don't run on Fridays. So Monday we use the extra drivers who would be on bulky to beef up the routes to make sure we don't miss anything through the week. And then the other thing we do is because $40 is a lot for some people, we started offering what was called a landfill voucher. Mm-hmm. And so if we used to have a free dump weekend where in April and October we allow customers, they could go out to the landfill and they get in line, they show their utility bill and they get in. Well, one of the things that we recognized was, number one, we had people who weren't utility bill customers getting in that line. And so that's a subsidy from all the people who pay their bill that we shouldn't allow. The other thing is that it's not always convenient. You go there in an April and in an October, maybe it's raining, maybe it's nasty, and so it's not convenient for them. So what we did was we opened up this voucher program so that every customer with a utility bill can get up to 2 vouchers per year, and that's a calendar year. They come into our office and they, we check the bill and make sure that they're actually a customer, and then we issue them the voucher, and they can take the material to the landfill at their convenience.
That's huge.
Not in a big line. And then we're not staffing it as well. So we don't have a bunch of people on overtime standing out at the landfill on Saturday. Now they can actually go out at their convenience when they want to, after work or on an early morning Saturday, whenever. So whenever the landfill's open.
And to get these vouchers, they just call?
They just come by our office. You're going to want to bring your utility bill. And if you, like my wife's on our utility bill, mm-hmm. It's in her name. So if I wanted to go there, I got to make sure that I've called down here and have my name put on it as well, so that I'm in the notes that says it's okay. Because we check. We want to make sure that the people who are coming to use the service are actually our customers.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's really important because, as you said, we don't want to subsidize someone from a different community.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that we don't care about them. It's just these are the folks who pay the bill. We want to make sure we take care of our customers. So
you also have a physically limited accommodation program.
Yes, we do. Yes,
what is that?
Well, we're kind of proud of that, but it's part of the ADA compliance, and Americans with Disabilities Act says that we're going to provide service to people even if they're physically limited and can't get to the curb. So what we do is we have a medical certificate that they have their doctor fill out and send to us. And what we do is we go to the garage where they leave the container and we roll it to the street, we dump it, and we put it back. The things that we ask for is that they don't have someone living in the house that could accommodate that, rolling it back and forth. Because the efficiency portion of it is if we're getting off the truck every couple of stops, we're self-defeating. So
That's right.
At that point, what we're really trying to do is just make sure that we take care of those customers. The other thing we have is a Braille sticker that goes on the top of the trash and the recycling containers for our sight-impaired customers who may have limited sight and want to be able to participate but can't necessarily determine what color it is. And the only other way to do it is the smell test. You put your nose in there. That's not fair. So we developed a sticker that actually goes on the cover, and it's got Braille that tells you it's recycling or it's trash.
What's the reaction been like to the Braille stickers?
Well, for those people who are in the know and the folks in that are in our community that are interested in it, they've been excited about it. It's always a limited. It's kind of a niche,
That's right.
But,
yeah.
But
for
the
those
reality
who need
is, for those who need it, it's available.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. It doesn't seem like much, but it goes a long way with someone when you say, we want you to be part of our program.
No, but one of the things I picked up from you over the years, that sticker is essential. And when I say picked up from you over the years, I've never thought about trash collection as being an essential service, but it really is. I mean, it's one of those things that I rely on. I'm a Monday route person, and I rely on it every Monday.
Yeah.
And so it's just little things like that are so helpful to the community.
Never been without a day of work. COVID didn't do a thing to my industry. Matter of fact, we worked harder because people were at home, and all of a sudden they were doing all these projects at home. So the tonnage went up, and there was a lot more garbage to pull. So we were more busy during COVID than anything else.
Well, and talk about working hard. It's not just what you all do as far as the services you provide, but also some of that outreach. You do a lot at farmers markets. You do a lot of the community services expos, going and speaking with schools, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you also have events, 2 times a year, the Trash Bash and Recycle Rally.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up.
We're proud of that. Yeah, it's coming up here in October.
What makes you so proud of it?
Well, it's an award-winning program, first of all. And I gotta say, I'm standing on the shoulders of people who came before me who did really, really good work. They built the Trash Bash portion of it, where they did litter controls with some of the Adopt a Mile folks and some of the HOAs who wanted to have an opportunity to do a cleanup and then have us come along and pick up the material once they did their cleanup, which was amazing. And then we have a recycling coordinator, Galea Albano, who has had some really good ideas. She's worked directly with our teams and has come up, with our recycling rally as well. And what that does is we're able to have this recycling event where anything that you couldn't normally recycle because it's hard to, like ammunition or drugs or
household batteries.
Household batteries. I mean, just household batteries last year, we was something like 550 pounds in one event. 500 pounds of household batteries is a lot. So all of that stuff didn't make its way to the waste stream. And because we've done such great work and we actually received a Team Builder Award from Keep Oklahoma Beautiful for our efforts with the community in that area. So I'm really proud of the team. They've done great work there, and so it's probably one of the best programs I've seen.
And we should probably point out that it's not just us. We're partners with a couple other communities.
Oh yeah. We have partners with the Met, which is our Metropolitan Environmental Trust. We partner with Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful, and our partners in Keep Broken Arrow Beautiful are fantastic. They do work all over the city. And matter of fact, we just had Chalk It Up and the Rose Festival. So there's so much we do that Harmon Insurance and some of the folks who come along and actually support us by sponsoring some of this. Wagner County actually sent the sheriff out to do the ammunition side of it. And this year we're actually moving it because the events park is where we typically have it. But as we all know, we're in for a treat, and we're going to have one beautiful events park with a amphitheater that's going to be outstanding. Mm-hmm. But it makes traffic almost impossible right now. So we're going to move our Trash Bash Recycle Rally to our Municipal Service Center, where we have our fleet and our purchasing and all of that. And that's over on Detroit, 1700.
Kind of central.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of
Broken
Broken Arrow, and it's where we keep all of our garbage trucks and everything. So people are actually going to get to see kind of behind the curtain a little bit. And a lot of people who've lived in this community for a long time know that location. But if you've never been there before, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
It's right over there behind Rhema Bible Church in that area.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And over the last couple of years, we've had some efforts to really spruce it up as well. So I think people will be really pleasantly surprised if they haven't been there in a while.
Let's talk about the Recycle Rally just a little bit. There's some numbers here that Galea put together and put on the website, on the city website. Over a 2-year period, October 21 to October 23 last year, 116 pounds of ammunition, 472 pounds of plastic bags, which I want to come back to that in just a second. The batteries, the 4,900 pounds of batteries, 22,000 pounds of e-waste. I mean, just a lot there that you don't think about that just start to clutter up into your house.
Yep.
You talked earlier about the tanglers and the 472 pounds of
Plastic bags.
Plastic bags.
Plastic bags, yeah.
When you talk about tanglers, I know those are tanglers, but what do you mean by that?
Okay, so when somebody puts a rope or they put a plastic bag or they put a cord in the recycling container, it ends up going through what's called a material recovery facility. That's a MRF. That MRF has a bunch of belts, right? Everything's moving, a lot of moving equipment. But those belts have a tendency to wrap that stuff around, and eventually what happens is it starts breaking bushings and bearings, and it damages the equipment, and it'll put it out of commission. So we always ask, don't put rope, don't put cords, don't put the tangler. The bags are the worst. Don't put those in there. We have programs for these. We have it at the Trash Bash Recycle Rally. You can go to your local Walmart. We partner with them on their recycling programs as well. They have a place to drop off all your plastic bags. 472 pounds of plastic bags.
That's a lot of plastic bags.
Of plastic bags. So we have a lot of things that we're doing constantly to try to get this material out of the waste stream. The same thing goes for electronic waste and the batteries. Just tomorrow, we're going to be speaking at the House of Representatives about electronic waste with the Oklahoma Recyclers Association to try to resolve some of this waste from making its way to the landfill. And these batteries, which we all know have been creating fires all over the country. So,
I was just going to ask about the batteries, and so you hit on it. I mean,
no, it's huge for us. That's how we lost our recycling facility where we were dropping our material off back in April of 21. It was a battery. It was a NiCad battery. Somebody threw it away, and it caught fire on the line, and that's all it takes. In the back of these trucks, when they compress, they can explode, they can catch fire. And we've lost, we personally haven't lost equipment, but I have seen it over the time I've been in this industry. Equipment gets destroyed, and at $550,000 for or $450,000 for a garbage truck, that's not an easy replacement.
So, no, not at all. Yeah. Let's talk about the Trash Bash portion of this event, too. It's a great opportunity if you want to team up with family, friends, church members, that sort of thing. What do folks need to do? Where do they need to go if they want to volunteer?
Get online. Go to our website, go to the city's website, just pull down the Recycle BA stuff, and we have all of the sign-up information there. You can get a hold of our recycling coordinator or our educator. They'll get you on the list, and we'll start coordinating the effort to try to get you vests, grabbers, bags, all the stuff you need to be able to do the event. We have it. So all we need is you.
And you provide locations, too.
And we do. And then we come back and pick up everything you picked up. When you pile it up, we come and get it with a truck.
So that makes it really nice. You're not just going around and trying to find spots. Mm-mm. The city actually says, here are some spots that we know of. A lot of creek beds, right away, that sort of thing. It's really important for creek beds to be cleaned out.
Big time. We like to get the tires, we like to get the trash out of the creek beds because that all ends up in the waterways, and we don't need that.
So when is this event again?
October 19th, starts at 8 a.m. and it goes till noon.
So still plenty of time for folks to get home, watch football games, get out to football games, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, tons. You can have all the fun you want in the afternoon, do all the trashy stuff we need you to do in the morning.
And I think we'll end on that note.
All right.
Jerry, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure, sir.
We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thank you.
The Vibe Broken Arrow is produced by the City of Broken Arrow. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to hear more about Broken Arrow, the city where opportunity lives.